Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today with me. I'm going to have a lovely conversation with Zeena. I'm so excited for her to share her story with us and her entrepreneurial journey. So, without waiting too long, let's give it to you. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good, thanks. Thank you for taking the time to have this conversation with me today. Yeah,
Thank
we're
you
really
for
excited.
setting this up.
Yeah,
I'm so
no
excited.
worries.
Too.
So, to start off, could you tell us a little bit about your story? Start with who you are.
All right. So first of all, I'm Zainab Safu. That's my full name, and I'm an entrepreneur. And I think I have a free spirit. I'm easygoing. I love dancing. I love singing. I love reading. I love nature so much, and I love to learn every single day. That's
Lovely.
basically who I am.
So, Zinab, you are Ghanaian, right?
Yes, I'm 100% Ghanaian.
Were you born and raised in Ghana?
Yes, I was born and raised in Ghana.
So, tell us a little bit about your cultural background in Ghana. There are different, ethnicities and different groups. What tribe are you from in Ghana?
Okay, so my tribe is the Gonja tribe, and we are based at the northern region. My hometown is Bole. That's where our former Ghanaian president, John Mahama, was from. Is
Okay.
from, yes. And we speak Gonja. I speak Gonja quite fluently. I should say I'm 70% good in speaking the language. Yeah, my culture is quite interesting, and just recently, I've really been making certain steps to get to know more about the culture. Yeah.
I love that. And you're probably the first Gonja person I'm speaking to, so I'm really excited.
Yay!
When you hear about
Nice.
Ghana, people are always thinking about Accra, first of all, and if they think about tribes, they think about the Ashantis. That's it.
Right,
Because of the
right. That's
kingship,
true.
because of the chieftaincy and all of those things. But there's so many more tribes in Ghana, and our
So
culture
many.
is diverse, and there's so much. So could you say something in Gonja for us?
Oh, yes. Mesafo. It means I like you.
Mesafo.
Yeah, Mesa.
That's really
Yeah.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you were born and raised in Ghana, and did you
Yeah.
always live in this part of Ghana, or did you move to Accra and different city in Ghana? Where did you grow up?
Okay. So I was born in Kumasi.
Mm-hmm.
And after I was born in Kumasi, I lived in Obuasi with my family for 2 years. So it was when I turned two that my entire family and I moved to Greater Accra region.
Okay.
And yeah, so we got a house in Dodowa and we've been there since. But
Wow.
now I'm grown, so obviously I'm separated from them. So yes, I've been in Accra all my life,
Wow, wow,
but
wow.
I've visited the northern region quite a number of times because it's my hometown.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I visited certain regions too because I love to travel within the country.
That's amazing. That's really nice. And for those of you watching, Obuasi is known for mining.
Mhm.
Ghana for the gold. So that's where at
Yeah.
least I know the name from. And Dodo, I know the name from, if I'm not wrong, driving to Akosombo. There are different routes to go to that part of Ghana, but I know that you can pass by there as well. No, there's a route
Mhm.
somehow.
Yeah,
I've
that's correct.
seen the name. I've seen the name Dodo when I was driving around, going
Oh, okay.
outside of town. So
Mm.
thank you for sharing that. So how was it going to school? What is your educational professional background? If you could take us back a little bit.
Okay. So I attended school from crèche to high school in one particular school. It's called Word of Faith Christian School,
Hmm.
located right at Dodowa. So that's the school I attended crèche from all the way through to high school. In high school, I studied general science. This just by the way. So I come from a family where everyone's entire background is business related, but I had the interest for science and not business. So I studied general science in high school. Right from high school, I gained admission to University of Ghana, where I studied consumer science, and I finished my final year just a few months ago. So
Wow,
I'm waiting.
congrats.
I'm waiting to have the graduation ceremony.
Amazing. For
Yeah.
those of us, I would say myself included, who have a hard time picturing what consumer science may look like in
Mm.
life, if I may call it even real life, how can you explain what field is that?
Okay, so it's a very broad field, but let's first get an understanding of it based on the name. So a
Mm-hmm.
consumer is basically anybody who spends on something or anybody who uses anything. So I could say we are consumers of the application Zoom
Yeah,
because we use Zoom. So consumer science is basically the science of people.
the
So we learn
behavior.
so much, yeah,
Mm.
so broad, from psychology to sociology, but we don't do detailed studies. We just do background studies. So when you're done with consumer science, you end up having a fair idea of so many fields.
Interesting. That's what my understanding of it was when I heard it. But because you said in the beginning science, I was thinking, I don't know why. I guess when people hear the word science, they think scientist wearing a robe.
Medicine
The
and
lab.
all that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thanks for explaining. So it's like consumer behavior.
Yes.
Yeah.
Consumer behavior. Uh-huh.
That's really, really interesting. And different countries have different names for similar studies. So it's really interesting to see how they call it in Ghana. And yeah, it's really nice. So you're graduating and doing your graduation ceremony soon. Congrats on that. Um,
Yeah.
but currently, because you said your background, most of the people in your family, you grew up in a family of, entrepreneurs, business people. Uh,
Yes.
but now you find yourself also being a business owner, even though you
Yes.
ran
That's
away from it.
interesting. Right.
So tell us a little bit, what kind of business background did you grow up in? What were your parents doing?
Okay. So my father, he was into the accounting field. He did everything accounting. For my mom, she was a business owner. She owned the store where she sold all things kitchen, from microwaves to, she was so business minded. She is still business minded. And for my sisters, they all studied business in high school,
Hmm.
and they're all owning their businesses now, and they're doing amazing. I
Wow.
really look at them. Yeah.
So how many siblings do you have?
I have three siblings,
Yeah.
a big brother and two elder sisters. So I'm the last one of my family.
Oh, baby last, as they say, catchy
Yeah.
tree. Um, that's really nice. And so basically, you said consumer science, but now that we know, kind of we've dissected the term, we understand that it's not so far off from business anyway, because it's really very much related. And at least studying such a field is very useful for someone going into business. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about your business, how you got started, and where it's coming from. Was that obviously probably the passion comes from home, but yeah, let you tell us in your own words.
Okay. It's quite an interesting story. Before I start, I would like to just say that because my family is based from the northern region, we always had shea butter in the house.
Hmm.
So first of all, my business name is Northern Treasures, and we help the rest of the world feel a deeper sense of connection to the African culture through the sale of our skincare products, which is 100% organic shea butter. So I grew up in a family where shea butter was always available, but I never really saw the value because I thought it was too oily, so I never liked it. Um, this is the interesting part about it. One day, I visited home with my sisters, and we were having a conversation, and I think a little misunderstanding came up, and someone just told me, "Get something good going with your life." And that statement really got to me because I was thinking, I'm just in my second year of college. What could I possibly be doing aside learning? So after I was being asked that question, it took me to a deep thought. And I started thinking, okay, all my sisters are doing business. What can I do for myself? I thought so hard. And then finally, it clicked that, okay, there's shea butter at home, and people love shea butter. Back in school, whenever I go have class, my teachers would always ask me to come home, purchase some shea butter for them and take to them. So then I realized, okay, I have a treasure sitting right in my house. Why don't I make something good out of it? And that was how Northern Treasure started. I started it with 30 Ghana cedis, and
Wow.
that wasn't even my money because for real, I was broke back then. So I had to borrow my sister's money, and then I got 8 jars of shea butter, and that's how it started.
Beautiful. I love the story of, how basically someone questioning what you were doing with your life and the contribution
Yes.
you were making got you thinking, what treasures do I have that I haven't unveiled yet? And
Right.
the treasure is
Exactly.
home. The treasure has
Uh-huh.
always been with you. So I love
Right.
that you had your own little Sankofa journey.
Right.
So, how long have you been in business? How long has Northern Treasures existed in business for? Yeah.
Okay, so Northern Treasures is heading towards 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Started somewhere in March 2021, so it's heading towards 2 years. Um, it keeps growing, I mean, progressively, because people love shea butter. I started it in university, so I didn't really have much time for the business. But now that I'm done with school, I'm giving it my 100% focus, and I've seen tremendous growth, even within the short period.
Yeah, I can imagine. As you said, shea butter is this treasure that most Ghanaians have in their household, but never really valued. Being
Right.
born and raised outside of Ghana, I think it was for me in the early 2000s when I discovered the name shea butter. My mom obviously had been using it. So if you're not Ghanaian or African, all African babies that are born, at least in Western Africa, are massaged with shea butter. That's like just the
Right.
norm. You wash
Uh-huh.
babies and you massage them with it. So obviously we had it in the house and I knew it was used, but it was linked for me to childhood and being born and the massage that you get or having ache somewhere and using it to massage yourself. But it wasn't a skincare, it wasn't part of my skincare regimen until
Okay.
I went to the Netherlands. I had decided to do the big chop. So I had relaxed hair all my life, as long as I could remember at that time, up until that time. So much that I didn't remember what my natural hair looked like because only the roots were natural, but everything
Mm.
else was relaxed. And I was a fervent relaxer. Like every 6 weeks, my hair was flat. So it was
Wow.
like, as soon as the roots came, it hurt my head. So I would relax it all the time. And I had watched this documentary by Chris Rock. Then let's not talk about Will Smith right now. But I watched the documentary Good Hair and learned about all the bad things that chemicals did to our hair and whatnot. So long story short, I did the big chop and was going through a in between period of doing the Rihanna style. So my hair was kind of still relaxed. So I cut the long hair to short style, let it grow out, and then I cut everything and did the big chop. And when I went to the
Wow.
Netherlands to a hair salon, this was an African American man who owned a hair salon, and as he washed my hair, I smelled the whiff of something very familiar. And I said, "What are you using in the shampoo?" And he said, "Black soap." And I said, "Black soap." Mind you, at that time in a Ghanaian household, the name I knew for black soap was Alata Semina. I did not
Yes.
know the English name of it because I'd never seen anybody use it outside of home. And so I
Mm-hmm.
said, I know this product, but it's called something else. And then when he started to condition my hair, he used something again very similar. And I was like, wait a second, this is also very similar. What are you using? He said, shea butter. And I was like, this is sounding like Nkuto to me, but I don't know what it's called. This was, I think
Yeah.
2000s, yeah. And I was like, okay, let me see. And I said, oh, but we have this. Where do you get this from? And he said, I got it from the States. I said, from the States? This is from Ghana. How do you
Right.
get something from the US to Europe when you could just get it from the source? And I said, there are African shops selling this, right? And he said, no. And so that's when the world of shea butter and black soap opened to me as being part of your skincare and hair care regimen. And so I threw away everything. I started using that and have only been using that for many years. So I only use shea butter on my skin, on my hair, and I use, naturally made products I either make myself or that I buy. And so I'm a big lover of your story. And
Wow.
so that's my little interjection there. So,
I loved it.
So what was because you say in Ghana, your teachers were, like shea butter and everyone into it. But from my experience being in Ghana, when I lived there, most people were surprised when I told them that I was using shea butter for my skin and my hair. They were like, why? So I know that it's popular now, but it wasn't always the case. So could you tell me about that? Have you had negative responses to, shea butter, or what are some of the stories that you've heard, the negative stories about it? Myths.
Okay. I've heard quite a number, and I think the most popular one is shea butter makes you dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge myth. I think shea butter really brings out your true skin color. Another problem I've heard people speak about concerning shea butter is the smell.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that not everyone likes the smell. Yes, it does have a slight nutty smell. But then for my brand, we've come up with a solution. So we mix the shea butter with sweet smelling essential oils, and people love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are actually the only problems I've heard concerning shea butter. It makes you black, and then they don't like the smell.
Exactly. And I think that it's a wonderful time now to be making such products, because people are more and more in tune with, realizing the treasures we have at home, Africans, but also Africans in the diaspora. Because when I started using shea butter, it's then only that I went out and looked in the creams outside and I saw, oh, wait a second, they say there's shea butter inside, but there's 0.02%. Yet they sell it and put the name on the label as if it's the main ingredient. I started learning a lot about how to read labels of products and how the first three ingredients are the most important. It tells you about how much potency that product is in the product that you're buying, and really paying attention to that. And I think it's an essential part of learning to understand about the products that you put on your skin and on your hair. Could you tell us a little bit about how your products are made?
Okay. So our products are made with the hand. So they are purely handmade from the northern region. So I have aunties in the northern region who do shea butter as their business. So as a way to help them and also to make it easy for me, I just source it straight from them. Yeah. So they do it from scratch. They harvest the nuts, they knead it, everything right in the northern region. So once that is done, they bring it down here to Accra, where I repackage it, and then I whip my shea butter to make application easier.
Yeah.
So that's basically the production process. Yes. So it's mainly made at the north, and then I complete the production process right here in Accra.
Okay, great. So you mainly sell shea mousse. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how I like to use mine as well. But early in the years, I think I used it as butter, even though I mixed it with coconut to make it more easier for you to use. But I whip it now as well. It's easier for everybody in the household, for the kids, for my husband to use, and for the hair. So I love that, you're adding essential oils for those that aren't, familiar with the smell, don't really like the smell. So what different products do you have in your repertoire, basically?
Okay, so I recently launched a head wrap line. So African head wraps, I have that, as well as bolga fans. These are hand woven fans from Bolgatanga in the northern region.
Yeah.
And bolga baskets. So currently these are the only products we have, but as time goes on, we'll add several other products, a whole lot.
Yeah. So since you started your business, what would you say has been the biggest challenge for you as an entrepreneur? Even though you come from a business family, so you may have learned a lot of things along the way. What was your biggest challenge?
Well, my biggest challenge was, let me see. I've had quite a number of challenges. Okay. Now the biggest.
Or a few, maybe two of the challenges you faced. Yeah.
Okay. So I think the biggest challenge actually is the willpower to keep going when challenges come. That's an interesting answer.
Yeah, I like that.
So, yeah. As a business owner, obviously obstacles will keep coming, but it's up to you to have the persevering spirit to move through all those obstacles and then come out winning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's my biggest challenge.
Mindset. Yeah.
Wait, did I answer this right?
Yeah, you did. You did. You did. So the biggest challenge is, mindset issues, knowing how to overcome those challenges when they come, and not letting yourself be defeated by, those setbacks, and feel like, okay, I don't want to go out again and show myself. I just want
Yeah.
to, dissolve away so that nobody knows. I know the feeling. And
Yes.
yeah, for
The
sure.
all this big challenge is as a result of all these feelings of, okay, what am I even doing? Am I even on the right track? It has caused me to go on short breaks within just this two-year period of me starting my business. There's been times where for 4 weeks straight, I don't post anything about the business. I don't do anything work related, all because I'm facing some obstacles. I'm overwhelmed. Okay, what do I do now?
Yeah.
But I mean, even though I take these breaks, I'm so thankful for the community I have around me. Sometimes as you're falling, someone picks you up or someone questions you. You don't post anymore. What's happening? Or even customers come. Like, I need some shea butter right now. And they're like, okay, now where do I continue from? So the reason I consider it as a challenge is because it has caused me to go on certain breaks within this 2-year period. I mean, yeah.
That were unplanned,
All
because
built, yeah. So
I believe taking breaks is important, especially as business owners. When you're an entrepreneur, you're doing everything. So in some of the conversations with my clients and with previous guests I've had on the show here, they share the frustration of, being a solopreneur. You wear all the hats. You're the marketing person, the salesperson, your production, your delivery, your customer service. And
right.
so you can't
Yeah.
yell at anybody else. You can only yell at yourself. So not that you should be going on yelling at people. I'm not saying that, guys. But I mean, it's just like you can't blame anyone but yourself. And it can be very frustrating and also lonely, the path of an entrepreneur, because it's like, I have to do everything on my own. If I take a break, someone will notice. You can't just not do your work and then
Right. That's true.
but it's important to take breaks. And that's why I think one of the most important things that I help my clients with when I work with them is systems, putting systems in place and automating things and delegating things and, recording processes. I think for me, in my entrepreneurship journey, one of the things that I regret not learning before is automating things early on and recording the process of how I do things. When you're able to do such things from the get-go, it's easy to delegate things to someone else, because you don't have to be there to tell them what to do. They just need to look at the blueprint and know exactly what to do. There's less chances for mistakes and so on and so forth. And you can sleep you can sleep, go on holiday, attend to other needs, and knowing that your work will be done the way you want it to be done, because you afford it. And so that's definitely a tip that I give to my clients, and I give to anybody watching this who's a entrepreneur or current entrepreneur. These are the things you're doing. If you haven't done it yet, is to start recording your process of doing things. It could be as simple as recording the screen when you're doing social media, when you're creating content. And it could be simple as writing the steps of how you do certain things. Because I think in our minds, we always think, oh, it's obvious. That's how I do it. But sometimes we forget, oh, shoot, how did I do this again? So waste time. So
wow, I didn't notice this.
yeah. And I wanted to ask you as well, what has helped you in your entrepreneurship journey? Because you talked about the challenges of, sometimes mindset issues, not wanting to keep going, being tired, overwhelmed. Burnout is really a reality for entrepreneurs. But what has helped you to keep going? You mentioned some of the clients coming back to you or people noticing, but do you have any things that are helping you?
Yes, my big sisters, they are really a huge source of inspiration for me. And sometimes we sit and we talk business, and from what they say, I mean, they have gone way ahead of me. From what they say, I pick up a few tips here and there, how to deal with clients. I mean, and aside my sisters, the community that I push myself in, or the community that surrounds me. So I found that it's very important to make friends or to associate yourself with people heading towards the same direction that you're going. You don't necessarily have to be in the same level, but I mean, it's good if they are ahead of you so you can learn from them. So definitely my community, including my sisters, has really played a huge role in helping me with my business.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that you mentioned that. And I think you're so lucky to have sisters who have gone ahead of you to start something because, as you said, you can really learn from each other and they can learn from you.
Right.
It's not because you're new in this quote unquote new that, they know everything. As a seasoned entrepreneur, we're all learning all the time. So, and I
Yeah.
completely agree with you when you say community. I mean, one of the, I wouldn't say regret, but yeah, maybe regret that I have in my business, what I wish I had done earlier is to join a community way earlier. And because since I have done that,
Mm,
is to get a mentor, having a coach, being part of a group program, it is just magical the type of expansion that you can get and the quantum leaps you can get instead of figuring things out on Google and on YouTube. It just, you can waste
yeah.
so much time, money, and energy that you can save when you're in a community. People just talking about things, and you'll be like, oh, that's a great idea. Let me implement that and see. And it saves you tons of time and money. So I is another thing I would recommend to people. We tend to kind of hold on to our friends and families when it comes to supporting us in our business. And some get really frustrated that their families or friends are not supportive enough, whether it's by purchasing or just showing up and believing in them. But the thing
Yeah.
is it really fair to expect that from them? They are not the ones with the dream. They didn't ask you to go out and do your business. And so it is
That,
on us, I feel, to take the responsibility to get a
yeah.
community that is heading, like you said, in the direction we want to head. And
Yes.
perhaps a few steps
Right.
ahead of us. So I think that's great that you're doing that
Mm,
because it's the mentality, they have a mindset, growth mindset, as they call it. And definitely that's a growth mindset. So kudos to you for that.
thank
What
you.
something that, since you started your business, you feel like has been a highlight and it's like, wow, it takes you back to this is the reason why I'm doing this business. How it's, something that makes you smile. I see the smile on your face already means you're thinking about a story. What is that thing or things that
Yes, yes,
happen?
yes. Okay, so my biggest joy in running my business is seeing my customers finally getting to love shea butter simply because they can no longer smell the nutty scent. And it's all of a sudden easier to smear simply because it's whipped. I mean, seeing my customers giving me great feedback and reviews is so amazing. It just makes my day. Yeah, so that's my biggest joy in running this business, seeing my customers happy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's nice. What has been the response from, do people get to learn more about the Northern region? How do you infuse that into your business? Because it's called Northern Treasures. Do you feel like you're also kind of sharing some of the culture through it, or how do your customers receive that?
Okay, so for the meantime, the way that I share the northern culture to my customers is through preaching shea butter. So I preach to them about how, the process of making the shea butter. These women go through hard work. Have you seen the process before?
I
It's
have.
so tedious. Yes, but funny enough, these women love what they do. And if you even try to give them a better way to, release their stress, they'll tell you, nope, keep that. I'm going the way my ancestors taught me.
Yeah.
So yeah, for the meantime, I mean, currently, the way I preach, I mean, I share the Northern region culture to my customers is through telling them about shea butter. That's
Mm-hmm.
just for the meantime. But as time goes on, when we put more products and more services, we'll definitely preach more and deeper about the Northern culture to all our customers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I read somewhere, I think you shared it in a group where we're both members of, that
Yes.
your shea butter is so pure and clean that you can use it to cook as well, I believe.
Yes.
My mom
Uh-huh.
absolutely loves cooking, rice with shea butter. So
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I said my mom, she loves cooking with shea butter.
Sorry. You broke your.
Can you hear me
Oh,
now?
okay. That's great. I love the flavor that shea butter gives. I use it to fry my yams, and I love the fragrance so much. Sometimes when I cook noodles, I just scoop a little shea butter and spread it on noodles, and I love it.
That's really nice. I love that way because I feel like in a current situation that we are in a world where a couple of months ago and perhaps still right now, prices of oil, vegetable oil has increased and people are like, oh my God, it's so expensive, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, in Italy and in Southern Europe, there's olive oil and that's what people use. In Ghana, we have
Mm,
coconut oil and we have shea nut, the shea oil and also the
yeah.
nuts of, what was it? I forgot the name, palm nuts, not the red one, but the,
Palm nuts oil, palm
the
oil.
palm oil, but we also have the palm kernel oil. And I wanted to
Oh,
know whether, sometimes people are always reaching to something from the outside when we have gold treasures at home that they could be using to just make the food. Right?
exactly.
And it's
Mhm.
healthier as well. So
Exactly. Very healthy and a better option.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I hope that more and more people will start using that in their skincare regimen, but also in their food regimens as well, because it's really healthy.
Yeah.
And as we're
Mhm.
now going into the Hamatan season in Ghana, perhaps your sales are going to go
Yeah.
up. Tell, how is that? How do
Oh,
you
yes.
have you experienced that?
Oh, yes, yes. And I'm actually very excited about the coming Hamatan season because, during the Hamatan season, people experience cracked lips, cracked feet, ashy looking skin. And when I see that, I'm just wondering, like, okay, I mean, you're in Ghana, there's shea butter everywhere. I mean, why don't you use shea butter? Why don't you stay moisturized?
Yeah.
During the Hamatan season, sales increase. Yeah, both locally and internationally. Because I mean, those outside are also looking for a way to keep their skin moisturized in the
The
winter
winter there,
season.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yes, during the Hamatan, during the winter season, sales increases so much.
Great, great. Could you tell
Mhm.
us a bit more about what to expect from Northern Treasures in the upcoming 6 months to 1 year? What are some of the plans and projects, obviously, that you want to share? If there's anything hush hush, well, we'll keep out for it. But if there's something you can share with us already, what can we be on the lookout for?
Okay, so there's one thing that I'm very excited about, and I think that's what's been making me smile now, but I have to keep quiet about it for now. But
Okay.
it definitely is very exciting. And as the months go, we're going to add more designs, more styles to the head wrap line. We're going to add more flavors to the shea butter, different flavors. I recently tried the combination of cocoa butter with shea butter,
Mhm.
and it smelled so good. It smelled
Delicious.
like chocolate. Yes, it smelled like chocolate. So I'm going to definitely add that. A few things here and there. I just have to keep quiet about some of them. So yeah, I'm really
Exciting.
excited about it, and I know all my customers will be so blown away and excited about it too.
For sure, for sure. Where can we find you, follow you, purchase your products, whether we are in Ghana or outside of Ghana? Could you share a little bit about that, please?
Yes. So you can find me on Instagram at northern underscore treasures GH. That's my business page. Let me mention my personal page too. You can find me at Zeena underscore admina. So let me spell it. Zeena, Zeena underscore admina, which is ADMINA. So these are the two Instagram pages you can find me on. To purchase, all you need to do is send the business Instagram page a DM, and then we'll give you your price code, get your shipping details, your delivery details, whether it's local or international. We've got your back. Yeah.
Hey, so
But
nice.
yeah.
I will leave all those details in the description here below. If anybody's interested, they could just reach out to you or say
Yes.
something in the comments and I will forward those details to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to share
Thank
your story
you.
and your journey with me. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we wrap up?
Um, yes, I would like to say a special thank you to Crystal Joy Williams. I
Yeah,
mean, it's because of her we are even having this interview. I wouldn't have
exactly.
met you, you wouldn't have met me if not because of her. I think what she's doing with Well Woman Ghana is so remarkable.
It's amazing.
It's sort of like an answered prayer to me because I've really been looking for a community like that right here in Ghana where I can find so many inspiring women, and Crystal just brought it.
She
And it's
just
so
brought it.
amazing.
It's
Yes, because that
amazing.
has inspired me so much. I really look at people like you, people like her, and other, amazing ladies in the group, and I'm like, wow, I can get there too.
Yes,
So
you
yeah,
can.
this Crystal.
Big thank you to Krista. So it's Well Woman Ghana. You should definitely reach out to her on her Instagram page as well. Crystal with a K and a Y for the E. So check that out. I will also leave it in the description box below if you want to check her out. She's a yogi. She's a wellness instructor. She's all in the above, and she's truly amazing. And we're grateful to be part of her community. And so thank you all for watching today with me. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please make sure you do so and like this video, share with your friends. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.